Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Welcome back. This is the Conroe Means Business Radio Show, where Conroe and radio and entertainment and education come all together to learn and to grow as a group of people of business origin. I don't even know why I said all that already.
I'm neither.
But I think, so we're a regional chamber of commerce. I think that's what I wanted to say. So as a regional chamber, you have presence in Conroe, in the Woodlands, and in Spring. But this chamber of commerce has grown tremendously in Conroe. And as one of our most important features for our members is we want to give them as much exposure as we can. And of course, we want to be sure that whatever we do for exposure is very positive and it's good for them and that it helps them grow. So who do we have today on the show, really, that's going to help us make that difference?
We have J.R. Cruz from Cars Plus Automotive Repair, and he grew up in the auto industry, so we're going to learn a lot more about him today.
So J.R. Cruz, is that a Conroean? Is he Conroean?
As much as you can be one.
So, okay, JR, thank you for being on the show.
Absolutely, thank you for having me, guys. It's a pleasure to be here.
So we asked if you're Conroean. Were you born here in Conroe?
So I actually wasn't. I grew up in Montgomery County, though. I moved here when I was 10.
Oh wow!
And so I went to school here, and my family lives here: sister, brother, parents.
So like
that
everybody
counts.
Yeah,
that counts.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And like everybody here in Conroe, you went to Conroe High, yes?
Actually, I went to College Park.
Wow,
Yeah,
so you're one of those guys.
One of those guys. Yeah, it was new, so it's a lot nicer now, I hear. But
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, so tell us, you own an automotive center named Cars Plus.
I do, yes, sir.
Right off Fraser on Phillips, right here downtown.
Phillips,
That is correct. Yeah. So the address is 612 West Phillips Street.
Very good. So what is this center? What can I expect when I park there? Like, what kind of things do you guys do?
So we're a full service automotive repair facility. So pretty much everything besides body work. So we do alignments, we do tires, we do like check engine light diagnostics. We work on AC, transmissions, differential. We also do factory scheduled maintenance, and pretty much everything in between.
Wow, that sounds like a lot. So,
Yeah.
How many technicians do you have working for you?
So currently we have 3 technicians working, and then we have a GS.
Okay.
So
GS
is a
meaning?
general service. So
Okay.
3 to 4 depending on who you ask.
And you have one service writer, or?
Yeah, we have one, and then myself. I also work the front a lot of the time.
Okay.
So there's something about that. You guys also have towing service, yes?
Yeah, we do. So we work with a couple of local providers. They give us a discounted rate, and we basically pass it along to the customer. So.
Oh, hopefully it's discounted.
Of course, yeah. They treat us all well. There's a lot of good towing services that we work with here in Conroe, so everybody's treated us right. So.
Yeah, very good. Okay, so any kind of problems, but not only problems, also if I want to get an oil change, you guys do complete oil changes. You guys do both synthetic and non and all this?
Absolutely, yeah. Oil changes, rotations, filters, you name it, we do it. Pretty much, like I said, everything besides, actual body work. So
maintenance stuff, for sure.
Yeah, of course. Yes, sir.
Wow, okay. So, and I've never been to the back. It's so weird. I visited you for the past year.
You got to come in the back next time you're in. We'll give you a tour.
I've never been in the back.
We'll give you a tour.
So how many cars fit back there? What goes on back there?
For sure, yeah. So we actually are, we have a larger facility actually. So we have currently 9 lifts in the back. And as far as shop space goes, we have about over 5,000 square feet of shop space.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
So you can take on a whole bunch of cars over a weekend and be okay.
We can, yeah. We can, like, if you just stuffed cars in there, we could probably fit 25, 30 cars in there.
And most people do stuff them.
No, we're stuffing them, yeah. That's right.
So how long did you say you've been in business now?
So my kind of origin is I bought my first location from my old boss at the end of 2018. And I opened up here in Conroe for the Conroe location in 2024. So we're coming up on our 2-year anniversary next month in April.
Yeah, I think we were there for some of it.
Yeah.
Most of it.
Yeah.
Your ribbon cutting for sure.
Yeah. We were kind of late on that, but
Nobody
better
knew.
late than never. Yeah, exactly.
We never got any kind of comment like, why are you doing it now? And,
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that end up doing ribbon cuttings late in their opening because they want to be at a certain point,
Yeah, they want to get established, get
Yeah.
everything ready, and
Especially
all
like the restaurants and people like that,
Yeah.
that have it like a public service like you, where you see people. You want to be sure that the oil stains are gone and
that. You got it
everything is
cleaned
fixed.
up, the fresh paint, and the floors are scrubbed and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
So almost 2 years now.
Yeah,
Wow.
here in Conroe, yes, sir. Yeah, time flies. Yeah.
Okay. So okay. Well, with that said, then the thing I've seen when I drive by, when I park rather, is that the parking doesn't represent what's really happening in the inside of the rest of the establishment.
Yeah, so I actually earlier in my career, I had a really influential boss. His name was Mr. Fink. Actually, shout out Mr. Fink if you ever hear this.
Hey, Mr. Fink.
Yeah, he was a good guy. He was a professional. But anyway, it was at a dealership, and he always told me that if you want to make sure that you have space for people to park.
Yeah.
Always, no matter what. So we're pretty quick. We hop to it pretty good as far as getting the cars in and pulling them in the back. And we have a large storage lot behind the shop, and then we also have a giant shop. So we're pretty good about keeping the parking lot clear. So if his mind and a client sees a full parking lot, they kind of think subconsciously like, well, do they have time for me? Can
Yeah,
they get
yeah.
to me?
Oh, yeah,
Maybe
for
I
sure.
should go. Maybe I should-
There's two thoughts. Either they're very good, so they have people coming in,
Yeah.
or they're too busy for me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. So, we try to find a balance there, but so pull them in quick and keep spots open for new.
So how advanced technically would you say you are? Are you guys pretty much on the cutting edge with the things going on?
For sure, yeah. So we're able to do like all calibrations and everything. Actually, we're actually working on getting it's called an ADAS calibration machine. So a lot of the times, even on a lot more modern cars, you'll have to do some sort of calibration process as far as like all the fancy features, the self-driving and the windshield wipers and all that stuff. So if you ever had like a windshield wiper or a windscreen brake or a windshield brake, you have to you have the glass part, and then you also have to do like a calibration on it.
Yeah.
So we're working on getting that equipment in the shop here.
And then that's pretty much foreign and domestic.
Of course, yeah. So we work on all makes and models. We work on European cars, your BMW, your Jaguar, Mercedes Benz, Audi, and Porsche alike, and then
Range Rover. That went to job security.
Yeah. Oh,
Well,
yeah.
that's what I've heard.
They definitely help keep the lights on over there. So. But yeah, they're but we do work on everything. Of course, all the American makes and models. We're very versed in, and the Japanese and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
we work on everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one of the things, and I don't really understand it. So can you explain what ASE certified means
Yeah. So it's actually.
versus not that?
Yeah. So actually, our lead technician is ASE certified, and our other technicians have some certifications ASE, but it's basically like it's a nationally accredited way of grading technicians. So like I know other industries have something similar, like plumbing and electrical. There's like an industry standard as far as like testing and knowledge goes, and so that's basically that equivalent for automotive repair. And they have different sections of certification. So you have like AC certification, you have suspension certification, you have brake certification, you have engine certification,
okay.
diesel certification.
Okay.
So, but yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So let me say a couple things. You're listening to the Conroe Means Business radio show, and at this program, we seek to help people, especially our members, gain information that's experience based and that can teach you and help you move forward with your business. Today, we're talking to J.R. Cruz. He is owner of Cars Plus and more. Not and more, just Cars Plus Automotive. It's right here in Conroe. And they do everything that has to do with automotive care. And I did have a question about all that, JR.
Yes, sir.
Why did you get into this business you were telling us?
Yeah, so I mean, I've always loved cars, ever since I was a baby. My father is also a lifelong technician, and my uncles also work on cars or sold cars, and some degree have been in the car industry. So it kind of felt natural to me to do it. So it kind of
It's not a Hispanic thing, right?
No, it's every the thing. That's what I love. Cars are universal. No, they're like
For
numbers.
sure.
Everybody got them. Everybody uses them. So it's
You can't live without them.
You can't live without them. So it's definitely a very broad. Every mate. Every walks of life. So.
But you said you don't do body work then.
No, we don't do body work. Yeah. So we leave that. That's a whole nother set of skills
Yeah.
and all that stuff. So
So even fender bender type body work.
we can
now?
we can do, like, we have some PDR guys that we work with, and we can replace like bumpers and fenders, a hood, and doors, that sort of thing. But like anything like frame damage, or actually like working the dents, or like Bondo, or how they
Or the
Yeah.
paint.
and stuff like that. Yeah, we have we know a lot of good body men that we work with, but we don't do it in house.
Tell our audience again, JR, how to get a hold of you, where to go.
Yeah, absolutely. So our Conroe location is at 612 West Phillips Street. That's in Conroe, Texas.
Right off Fraser.
Right off Fraser. So pretty much at the intersection of 105 and 75. So right there, smack down downtown. So real central location. Our phone number is 936-539-5999. That number is textable. So if you prefer a text,
Very good.
you can also shoot us a text. We check that regularly during business hours and outside of business hours. So you can always be, pride ourselves on being easier to reach if you have a problem, or if you have any questions, you can definitely reach out whenever you need.
Okay.
That does make it easier to communicate with the customers too, right?
Of course, yeah. A lot of people, they're working, they're busy, they're hosting radio shows. They can't take a call from JR saying that their car is busted. So we can
And by the
Or
way,
it's ready to be picked up.
or it's ready, or
we love to hear that. But
yeah.
one thing that I don't think a lot of listeners realize is that when we bring cars to you or to anyone that will fix them, being able to get a text telling us what it's going to cost, what's the problem, and everything else is so much better than waiting for a phone call.
Yeah, it takes a lot of it, and and it works both ways, because I do prefer it, because it makes it a lot more transparent, and
And it's in writing.
It's in writing. You can see it in front of you. It's all broken down, the parts, the labor, and the way that we send it, like you said, we send our estimates through text a lot of the time. Is that, let's say you have your main problem, and then maybe, hey, the technician found one or two things that you might need. It's all broken down individually. So like if you want to do everything, great, you can do that, but you can actually like individually choose what you want to do at that time. And it takes a lot of awkwardness, talking to the guys or talking to the advisor or whatever. Oh, I don't want to do that now, or I want to do this only.
Yeah.
So it makes it a lot easier, and people can kind of see the breakdown of everything.
And yeah, they can plan out their expenses.
Well,
Yeah,
especially-
they can add it all up, and
Because
all
the
that.
breakdown has prices on it, so you know what to look at and what not to look at, depending on your checkbook.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So it just makes it a lot more transparent, a lot easier to understand, digest, and I do like that part of our system.
Very good.
much,
Yeah, and that's very helpful for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I really liked that when I took the truck a while back, just to get it checked out. They did a diagnostic, and it's inexpensive, $100 maybe, whatever. And
Yeah,
they
that's
tell
right,
you
yeah.
everything.
Yes, sir.
You guys found stuff that you shouldn't have found.
Yeah, we try. Sometimes it does happen like that, unfortunately, but the way that we figure it, and a lot of people can kind of misconstrue it a different way. Is like, oh, I brought my car into this guy and he's just like bombarding me, right, with this
Sure.
and the other, right? So we're obviously really honest in our recommendations, but the way that I figure it, and the way that I tell the guys and train the staff, is that if we don't tell them and they find out in another way, or some
Or
other
it
shop,
breaks.
or it breaks, and it's like, hey, JR, my car was just in the shop and you didn't tell me that my brakes were low, or you didn't tell me that I don't have any coolant or something, then we take that, that's, if the car was at our facility, it's our job to look it over and, we
Sure.
keep you informed and all that stuff. So
Because they might find something that needs to be fixed that's more of a priority versus what you thought you were bringing it in for.
Exactly, yeah. So that's another thing too. We help, prioritize. Maybe this needs to be fixed, but you can write it out a little bit longer, or save up some money, or buy some time or whatnot, and then you can worry about like the main things first.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
Like getting it inspected somehow without that little light.
Yeah,
Fixing the light.
Unfortunately, there's really not much you can do for stuff like that. You gotta unfix it.
You
Unfortunately,
got to bite the bullet.
bite the bullet.
All right.
If you want to drive legally, anyways.
There you go. So you're listening to the Conroe Means Business radio program, hosted by the Texas Gulf Coast Chamber of Commerce, and broadcast here from the irlonestar.com studio in City Hall, Conroe. If you would like more information about the show and about any other programs that this Chamber of Commerce offers, please contact us at mytexaschamber.com. Find out about the show. Find out what's going on with IR Lone Star at irlonestar.com. That's community radio. So it's a pretty big deal. That please take a look at the website, see what's going on, gain more information about this program and other programs that this station offers, and go from there. There's a lot of great things going on in Conroe. So when we come back, we're going to get deeper into conversation here with J.R. Cruz, owner of
Cars Plus.
thank you, Aurelia, of Cars Plus. I was looking at it. So we'll be right back in a couple minutes. We'll be right back.
Car enthusiasts of Conroe, FM 104.5 and 106.1 Lone Star Community Radio invites you to shift into gear every Monday from 1 to 2 with Cruz and Car Club Talk with Robert and Randy for news on all things automotive in the greater Houston-Conroe area. Can't make a live show? We've got you covered. You can find all of our uncut content, including full episodes on Spotify, iTunes, Play Store, YouTube, Facebook, and irlonestar.com. Again, that's Mondays 1 to 2, Cruz and Car Club Talk with Robert and Randy. See you there.
Welcome back to the Conroe Means Business radio show, hosted by the Texas Gulf Coast Chamber of Commerce. And in the great city of Conroe, our program is designed to help share information and a wealth of experience that our members bring and that can help you grow, help you anticipate, help you understand, and help you know that in business, it's all about uncertainty and about the wisdom found in uncertainty and being able to deal with some of the stress that sometimes comes with having your own business. And a lot of folks feel like they're all by themselves, like they're the only ones. And guys, I have to tell you, you're not. All of us go through many of the same challenges and many of the same things, regardless of the type of business you have. I know Aurelia goes through it every year, and I know she doesn't sleep for 6 months a year. And there's a reason. What kind of things do you do, Aurelia, that doesn't let you sleep during the year? You were talking about it earlier. There's times of the year, okay, let me tell the audience then. There's times during the year where you cannot find Aurelia, no matter what you do. She will not show up because she's up to her neck or higher in alligators called tax returns. So she and her staff engage in different activities, and one of those is tax returns. She herself is a business advisor, so it's a little bit different. Although during tax season, she looks at every single tax return that's filed under her CPA. So she's very busy, and that creates a bunch of stress for everybody. So we don't call Aurelia during these months. When she finally emerges and takes a deep breath, we let her sort of decompress, and then we'll talk to her very slowly and carefully. So, but that's normal in her business.
Yes.
And for most folks, there are things like this where we're challenged, and some folks don't understand why you're not the happy-go-lucky every person that they know, and that's because business takes a lot of energy and a lot of focus. Thus is the case, or so is the case with our guest. He is J.R. Cruz, and J.R. Cruz, the owner of Cars Plus here in Conroe, right off Fraser. So it's on 105 and Fraser. I think it's the northwest corner, so to speak. You'll see it. It's a big gray black building. Can't miss it at all, and especially if you have car issues, you'll see. So anyway, so we're asking JR a bunch of questions earlier, but now we want to ask JR a few other questions that might give you more insight into how he feels, how he thinks, and sort of what things he can share with you that might help your business, at least anticipate some things. Because, one of the biggest concerns, really, as we talked about last week, that we find with our members, and not only our members, with business owners, is that they open their business, but they forget to do a business plan or a marketing plan. And you just kind of say, okay, well, I've got the best tacos in Conroe, let them come and get them. And then nobody shows up because, your 15-year-old is doing your social media and you think that's your marketing. So there's all these little things, that you discover.
So, JR, what's your background? Because you were telling us earlier about what you went to school for.
Yeah, so actually, it's kind of funny actually. So I went to school for business ad, so that's what my actual degree is in. But for the first good portion of my professional life, up until I was about 24, I was actually a chef. Yeah,
Oh wow!
Yeah.
But you bought the auto repair shop in 2019.
Yeah. So I had already been, when I was working professionally as a chef, I always had cars as a hobby, worked on my own cars, and was always around the business. But I had transitioned out of cooking in the restaurant industry to like a sales job, something easy. I think I worked at T-Mobile.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
You sold telephones.
Sold telephones, yeah, and that was just kind of to get my feet wet. But when I was like a back of the house guy. I never really, I may sound like I have all the answers, but it does. I wasn't naturally like this. I had to learn a lot of.
So you were okay.
Yeah.
Being a chef, what kind of food did you cook?
So I was a head chef at here locally. It was in Old Town Spring. It was called the Black Sheep Bistro. It was like a fine dining restaurant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I go to the Loose Caboose.
Yeah, that's right
in
there.
Spring,
Yeah, yeah. So the guy there, he's a good guy. He's from. He was actually a pretty famous chef from New York. He moved down here with his wife. He had 2 restaurants in Old Town Spring, but he was who I worked for
Okay.
here locally, and I've worked at some other restaurants in the area before that. But yeah.
So would you ever go back to the kitchen?
I'm just big on eating now. I don't really cook. I just eat.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
me personally, I've cooked enough meals for a lifetime. I think, and I don't shy away. I'll still cook if needed, but I probably would not go back professionally.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
hard work.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you're on your feet the whole time, and
Yeah,
there's
Being
a
a
reason.
business owner is hard work.
it is. Yeah, that is it might be maybe equally or just as much. So, your close call.
So we did your ribbon cutting a while back, JR, and something that struck me that I thought was really interesting, aside from it being like 105, 110 that day,
Yeah.
but you really focused on having a bunch of bouncy houses and burgers and hot dogs, which is not always normal for ribbon cuttings at an auto repair shop.
Yeah,
No?
that kind of figured. That's what they said, but
No, it was fine. It was perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
The thing is, you have a large family.
I do. Yeah. Yeah.
Tell us about your family. Well,
Yeah, so I have my sister, my brother. My sister has 2 kids, and they're all, like I said, they're local here. So anytime anything happens here, they're always there for me. So, but yeah, my dad, my brother, my sister, their kids, my daughter. So mainly had something to just keep them out of our hair while we did the ribbon cutting.
yeah,
So-
and they weren't out of your hair though. They
yeah,
were there.
They were there, yeah. So, but yeah, it was fun, and then maybe a little bit of attention grabbing, like what are those balloons over there? What's
For
that
sure.
big? What's that big thing right there? So
That's the whole point of being a kid.
yeah, it was a client of ours actually. She has a business for rentals, so
Okay.
it kind of worked out good. Gave her some business. I got a good deal on it. So
People like that, we don't have a lot of folks like that in the chamber. And we get requests for those things all the time.
yeah, I bet. Yeah,
No.
a lot of events and everything. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
well,
pass it along. Yeah,
Please, because everybody with kids always wants to entertain the kids because, like you said, they need attention.
yeah,
need,
they
you
do.
know-
It's just like burn out some energy. They sleep better at night. Jumping around, swimming. Let mom and dad have a little rest at the end of the day. Let them get their good hours in for sleep. So
So let me ask you then.
Yeah.
So how do you balance this whole thing? You're open Saturdays now.
I am. Yeah.
So and what time do you guys get off usually at night?
We close officially at 6, and I leave maybe 6:30 to later sometimes if I have to, if I have something to do.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you,
clerical stuff or this, that, and the other. Working on some car that won't get fixed.
there you go. We know those cars. So
Yeah, they happen. Yeah.
so you get home about 7:00, and then that's almost time for the kids to go to bed, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a balance. So I take my daughter to work a lot. So I'm fortunate enough. I don't mind it. I have a team there, so I'm able to hang out with her at work or leave early to go.
How old is she now?
She just turned 5 actually.
Good. She's old enough to start, turning some screws.
Yeah, or something. She likes to clean. She cleans. She always helps. She's always down to help. So she'll wipe down the couches or wipe down something. So
Okay. So your daughter. How many other kids do you have? You
I
said?
just have one. I have the one.
I thought you had more.
No, just one.
Oh,
Just
okay.
one.
But
Yeah.
That's still a thing to be able, as a dad, to be able to take your kid to work.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Some people, they don't have a choice; they have to. But I choose to. I do like it because, like you said, I don't have that much time, and she loves coming to work. So it's kind of a win-win. She gets to hang out with her dad, and I get to hang out with her. So
Yeah, and you don't have to pay all that incredibly expensive childcare.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I have some family that really does help me in that department. So I've been fortunate enough.
Oh, for sure.
In that, so thankfully I'm paid other ways, but not financially. So
Yeah. All right.
yeah,
Okay. So this whole thing with your family and everything, and all the stress that's included in your business.
yeah.
Have you ever thought, what, I have to do something else, like going back to selling cell phones?
or cooking, God forbid. Many times I've thought about it, and it's definitely crossed my mind. Not so much now as we've kind of gotten stronger and I've gotten better at handling it and all that stuff. But there were many times along the way that I've wanted to throw in the towel.
That's very honest, and that's very true.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us have quit like 10 or 15 or 20 times
Yeah.
a week.
Yeah, for sure. You quit for the day and you come back, or I'm done for today. That's it, So
Yeah.
I'm finished.
Then you think about the alternative, and you go, nah, I'll stick it out one other day.
Exactly. Well, at this point, I'm probably like basically unemployable for one reason or another.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I don't
I
have
agree.
a choice. Yeah, I don't have a choice.
I know what that is right now. You're master of your own
Yeah.
destiny now.
Whatever you want to, overqualified. Don't,
I love that
gotta, whatever you want to call it.
They'll always say that, oh, you're such a qualified, talented person. We can't possibly hire you.
Yeah, you got too much.
Yeah.
So But either way, so.
For sure. So how do you handle that? The stress and I say it that way because it's normal to have it. It's just that people deal with it differently.
Yeah.
Whether you go bowling or you go fishing or you just hang out with your kids. What kind of things do you do to help you handle the stress?
I mean, I really do. Like, I'm a believer in we're all students, so I do a lot of just learning. I like learning stuff. I like just random stuff, about the world, and I like geography a lot. So I watch a lot of documentaries and stuff like that. It's just kind of interesting to me. And then I play with my daughter. Obviously, we're playing with Hot Wheels or riding bikes. Playing outside. We go fishing quite a bit. We go to the park a lot.
She likes to fish also?
She likes to fish.
Wow.
Yeah. She can cast pretty good.
That's amazing.
Yeah. She's not too shabby, honestly. So.
Okay. Does your wife fish also?
No.
Okay. She probably doesn't
Not
like
yet.
to fish that much.
Not so much, no.
So how long you guys been married?
So we've been married we were married actually. So we're currently not actually. We're separated. So, but yeah, we were married for a long time. Then we have a good relationship. It's a positive thing. So it's not really a huge turmoil there. But
Yeah.
but it's been a couple years since we separated.
Okay. Well, let me change the subject briefly.
That's okay. Yeah, no worries. I don't mind at all.
We almost always, when we start a business and we start thinking, okay, I'm going to be the one, right? I'm the next Wayne, not Wayne. What's his name? Mattress Mac, but
Yeah,
for the automotive industry,
yeah.
whatever. Or what those three guys what are they called?
Which one?
The boys. It doesn't matter. You're the next superstar. You're thinking this, right?
Try
When
to
you-
be, yeah.
When you start your thing,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden reality hits.
Yeah.
The bills start coming in and things like that, and your mind starts to change.
Yeah.
So what assumption would you say you had to begin with that you don't have anymore, that might have changed for you?
That it was going to be easier. It's definitely difficult. It was more difficult than I thought. I mean, like I said, I was I worked on the cars and, I wasn't a business person. I went to school for a little bit for it, but by any means did not have, near the amount of experience probably that I should have or needed to start. I kind of,
Well, you never know how much you're supposed to have anyway.
Yeah, he's kind of you just got to jump in, you never really know,
But
that's
you felt confident enough to open another store in 24.
Yeah. So actually, like I said, I'm a simple person. And so my thought process on that is that if I lose the farm and everything with it, I'm okay with being poor for a little while. So, it's not
Okay.
So what do you do to differentiate yourself between all the other auto repair guys and the shade tree mechanics?
For sure. Good question. So, I mean, really, you come in and you kind of experience it, but we're very upfront. And like I said, a lot of the way that we do it, we don't really try to sit you down and sell you the book. We tell you what's important, but, we let but what I found a lot of the time is that, if explained properly and presented properly, most people want to fix most things.
Yeah.
And if they don't, it's truly because they don't have the money, they can't afford it, right? But so if you present it properly, it kind of takes the salesmanship out of it.
Oh, no
honestly.
question.
Yeah.
I mean, what I've seen, because not that I've been too much in this world of repair, but
Yeah.
I have in the past couple of years.
Yeah.
What I've seen that makes you different than other persons, other shops, is basically the fact that you're up front, but you're willing to spend time to stand there or sit there or whatever and explain.
Of course,
So
yeah.
a lot of the guys don't have time,
I make time. I mean, for me, for being a new shop, I mean, I may have had a shop and I may be around, but the fact of the matter, the way I see it is that we're new in Conroe, so I want the employees to know, I want the clients to know that, I'm there, I'm reachable. I mean, my picture's on the front counter.
Sure.
I answer the phone, I mean, I'm accessible, what I mean?
Yeah,
You can,
yeah.
if you want to talk to me, you can.
And people
can
like the
find me.
police, I know the local police for sure, and the constable told me, no, the sheriff also, they know you.
They do. Yeah. We've worked on a lot of their cars, the fire department.
Not that they're messed up cars, but
Yeah, no, they have,
Budgets.
Things happen.
Things happen, and they have family or, their wives or, they're people that they know. So we definitely work on, a lot of people's vehicles now.
yeah.
Yeah. So we also do work for there's a U.S. Marshal's office here
Okay.
in town. So we do their work too for all their fleet cars. So
So you also at the city maybe a little bit. We're right in City Hall right now, so
yeah.
you can drop a plug and no problem.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like I said, they know where. If they, I even told the mayor, if you ever need anything, no, I'm there. I mean, I don't have much to offer probably, but if you need anything with your car or have anything that I.
Oh,
can,
these guys are very humble. Trust me.
Yeah.
If they know they can help you, they will.
Yeah,
I was going to tell you,
Yeah.
and I haven't mentioned this to you, but or on the air, but here it goes.
Yeah.
Let me get myself in trouble. Every Saturday morning, we have a meeting at Honor Cafe here in Conroe where the mayor is the host.
Yeah, yeah.
It's divided in two, right? Women in one place, men in the other. That's just how it's divided.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
It's like
yeah.
a church thing. I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we get about 40 men every Saturday morning.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you're ever not open or if you ever want to wander off, to come to Honor Cafe,
There's definitely times on Saturdays I want to wander.
by all means, show up. Come
Yeah.
and have breakfast with us tomorrow, 8:30 a.m.
Okay,
You'll be
yeah.
my guest, and
Okay.
we'll introduce you to all the guys that show up there. Maybe
Yeah, that
we'll-
might work. 8:30. Yeah,
Yeah.
we open at 9, so I can probably.
Yeah, and just tell the guys I'll be back.
Yeah, yeah.
And you could sneak over to the women's side, and at the women's group, Aurelia's in charge.
Yeah, so yeah, we were on the other side. We're a little bit smaller group because we just got started a couple of months ago.
Yeah, yeah,
But your mom and your wife or
yeah, yeah.
anybody is welcome to come.
That's
Yeah,
why I've been asking.
There's not really an agenda either.
Yeah, no,
so
yeah,
It's just
exactly,
talking.
So the agenda is there is no agenda.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So, but like in the men's group, the idea there is a lot of the political candidates show up, a lot of Conroe, right? So we get a lot of the community leaders. Like last week, we had the police chief, give us a presentation on their new drones and all kinds of new stuff that's going on in the city.
Yeah, for sure.
And
Yeah.
so it's a great way to stay connected, And I always, every time I go to that thing, I always think about you or your mom,
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
know that your mom wants to get involved at that level.
Yeah,
to-
yeah.
to-
She's big on community, and she loves Conroe. She really does. So she likes being here. She likes being around here, going to the businesses and supporting all the local businesses and all.
Wow.
That
So
stuff.
tell these people who this mystery lady is. What does she do?
she's if her real job title I would be unable to tell you, but she's a big shot at the Memorial Hermann
There you go.
hospitals. Yeah, she bosses doctors around.
J.R. Cruz's mom is a big shot. That's all we need to know.
I guess
Well, eternally always welcome to our events and to all the things that we do as a chamber, because I know that when I met her, she expressed interest in the things, and also she actually recommended you join our chamber when you joined.
Yeah, she was actually the reason. Yeah, she told me about you guys before I knew about you, so that was actually the reason how I was quick on the onboard with
Yeah,
you guys.
for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've already expressed the fact that you have once or twice already decided maybe you're going to come back to work at the shop another day
Yeah.
and see if you can make it work.
Yeah.
So what do you think would you tell somebody starting a new business here in Conroe to think about before they jump?
Just kind of get your paperwork in order, right? Like I'm sure if you're starting a business in whatever industry, you're versed in your day to day of that business, but like the back end stuff is really what I would just make sure you have all your permits in place, like the taxes, you're set up correctly with your formations and all that stuff and all that stuff, because that can come back and bite you in the rear end, if not set up properly, or
Big time.
at least cost you money, that's for sure. And so I would just say make sure that like all your paperwork and all like your books and all that stuff are all set up properly from the get-go, and then that'll save you a lot of heartache later down the line.
And I'm positive just by her body language, I can see it from the corner of my eye that Aurelia is having a reaction here to all the
Yeah,
positive.
she's big on that. She knows because she probably sees it every day.
Yes, I
people
do.
that let it slide or it's not set up right and it costs you money.
So what kind of things do you see anyway, Aurelia? Might as well let's follow up with that. Is there something that you've seen that JR just hit that's true?
Yeah, so if things aren't set up right, we had one that their sync to their payables doesn't work right. So now they had a $500,000 asset on the books, and the bank asked for financials, and they gave them a loan based on the $500,000 in cash they thought they had. So
Thought?
now, yes, because they didn't. It was already spent. It
So
just
they
got
give them a
coded
maybe
wrong.
loan? Mhm.
Maybe
Yeah.
loan.
Yeah. So,
Well, yeah.
when you get a loan, there's loan covenants. So sometimes you have to keep providing those financials. And
Yeah, like
So-
the terms and conditions of the loan.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
Of course,
Yeah.
yeah. There was always a lot
They had
of
to
those.
give it back faster than they wanted.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, wait a minute.
yeah, so it's very important to have all your paperwork in order and make sure that things are set up correctly.
Of course, yeah. So I would say that and just kind of being ready for everything, like, there's gonna be some punches you're gonna roll with, you have to roll with, and kind of, not getting discouraged, I would say, as a big one, because like you can.
So how do you
So,
go ahead? Go ahead.
how do you keep from getting discouraged? Do you have people around you that help?
So, for me, everybody kind of has their own thought processes or whatever they do. But for what works best, for what works good for me is that I kind of look in the past a little bit, and that kind of gives me, confidence in the future. It's like, you've made it far, you've done this, you have this, you're here, it's not by luck, hopefully, anymore. So you're in the right direction. You just kind of, and that's the thing, like a business ownership. When you work at a company or wherever you work, you may have a boss reprimanding you or telling you good work, but like when you're by yourself, you don't have anybody telling you either one. So you kind of have to. You got to tell yourself, not no, JR, or good job, or you kind of have to be that person yourself.
Kids don't take excuses.
They don't.
Kids take food. It's for real.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you got to make sure that you're providing. You're doing a good job because no one else is coming for you.
Yeah. So what did you learn new about business? Then you were telling us. Like
tons. I mean, I couldn't, I'm the forever student when it comes to that sort of thing. Really, I'm not naturally a good talker or a good businessman. It's stuff that I've come to learn over time or whatever. But I would say, man, I mean, I'm always learning about, like setting things up properly, like being more efficient. Like it's just you name it. Payment processing or banking stuff, tax stuff, and just everything.
So how many employees do you pay total?
So we currently have, I think, 6 people on payroll.
So do you ever have payroll on your mind before you go to sleep and just don't sleep?
I used to. Not anymore. I mean, thankfully, we're in a little better place financially. But yeah, there's definitely been weeks that how am I going to pay people, or been there. And that's kind of part of doing it. You got to kind of have yourself invested, and, kind of.
Well, that fortitude. And that's the thing that's part of what our listeners would really benefit from knowing is that starting a business is a wonderful thing, but not everybody should start a business.
It's not for the faint of heart.
No question. Yeah. Especially if you're used to the security that comes with working for a company that's going to pay you no matter what you do.
Exactly. Yeah, you're there. It's
in your case, you don't eat.
Yeah, exactly. Your bills don't get paid. They come tow your truck away or close up your house
that.
or whatever. But no, thankfully we're not there. So, but it is definitely a reality. And at the beginning, and depending on what you do, you might have a lot of bills, and it can be overwhelming.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why a business plan is important, because
you have something to fall back on, like,
yes.
Hey, what should I do, or where am I at, and where do I need to go in the next step? And
just by your answers to some of these questions, I didn't ask about the business plan because I thought, that might be a little bit of a sore spot. Just because the business plan makes you stop and think and slow down, and when you're opening, you don't want to slow down.
It can be. Yeah, so like when you business plan wise, I would say, I mean, I always kind of have like a general direction of what we're trying to do, or goals within other goals that
sure.
kind of stepping stone type of stuff, but it's always changing.
Yeah. So you're listening to the Conroe Means Business radio show, brought to you by the Texas Gulf Coast Chamber of Commerce, and here at irlonestar.com you can find everything you need to know about the radio show and about things going on here at the radio station. We're stationed or located right here in downtown Conroe in City Hall, and this show will be listened to and broadcast both in that order, Thursday mornings at 10 a.m. on 104.5 FM Conroe. So we're here with JR, but I'm also here with Aurelia Weems. Aurelia Weems, why didn't I say this earlier? Sorry, Aurelia. Aurelia Weems is a business advisor. She also does taxes, and she does all kinds of other bookkeeping, et cetera, et cetera. She'll explain. But Aurelia, do you have any final questions before we let JR get back to work?
is there anybody you want to give a shout out to that you really helped you in business?
Yeah, there's a couple. My parents, obviously my mom and my dad, wouldn't be here without them. They've always been, positive and, never let me give up. My grandma, love her, also would not be here without her. My sister, so definitely has helped me a bunch. My uncle Damien, probably wouldn't be here without him, because he's the one that told me to do it. He gave me the push that I needed, so to sign those big, building paperwork and get into a whole mess of payments and all that. So he was the one that pushed me. So thank you, Damien. Appreciate you. Mom, Dad, love you. Julia, always. That's my sister.
Okay,
yeah.
All right.
So obviously my nieces, my nephews, my daughter, but yeah.
How about your neighbors, man? No?
My neighbors, they're good. They tell me. They check my mail when I'm out of town.
There you go.
I haven't been out of town for a while, but they would check my mail if I was gone. So.
All right. Well, we really appreciate that you were on the program today, JR.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, it was a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me. I really do appreciate it.
One more time, give us your 411, please.
Yeah, yes, sir. This is my name is J.R. Cruz, and I'm the owner of Cars Plus Auto Repair, located here in Conroe, Texas. Our address is 612 West Phillip Street, Conroe, Texas, 77301. That's pretty much right smack dab in downtown Conroe at the intersection of 105 and Fraser, and the northwest corner.
Very good.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes, sir.
So coming up, we have the Advisor's Corner. We also have some things happening in Conroe we want to talk to you about. So we'll get right to that as soon as we get back from this commercial break. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is Andrew from the Audience of One show, airing Fridays at 10 a.m. on Montgomery County's favorite radio station, 106.1 and 104.5 FM, and streaming on irlonestar.com. Make sure to listen to me and the Lieutenant of Merriment, self-proclaimed funny man Dick Schisler, with our unique blend of observational humor, antics, and odd news stories. Available on all podcast forums and even YouTube if you're the kind of person who likes to watch. For more information, visit us at irlonestar.com/AOO.
We're back. I'm Dr. Carlos Sanchez. This is the Conroe Means Business radio show, brought to you by the Texas Gulf Coast Chamber of Commerce and recorded at the Grand Studios here at Conroe City Hall, downtown Conroe. If you want more information about our Chamber of Commerce, you can check out mytexaschamber.com. For more information about this program, about all the other programs that IR Lone Star offers, visit irlonestar.com. You can find us by looking out and finding Conroe Means Business radio show, the Conroe Means Business radio show. So in this segment, we're going to talk about a few things. One of them is going to be, of course, what Aurelia has to say about our Advisor's Corner. That's important because she gives you advice, things that you need to know as small business owners to keep yourself strong and to be sure that you watch out for, in today's case, for the tax man. So she'll be sharing some information on that. We're also going to talk about some events coming up in Conroe that we want you to pay attention to, because I was reading the feed on Facebook. Somebody posted on I Love Conroe, which many of you know is a very, very popular group. Somebody posted, I wish there were a candidate forum so that I knew who to vote for coming up. And then like 25 of us interjected, there is one. There is one. And we're hosting it. It's going to be April 16th.
Yes.
At the Owen Theater. So, Aurelia, are you going to be part of that program?
Yes, sir. We'll be emceeing and asking all the right questions so they can find out all the good juice on these candidates and how they're going to help small businesses.
Although we love them, we do want to ask them questions. See, and let me tell you where that came from. A lot of folks don't realize that we've been conducting a business survey. So we're talking about 500 businesses, 100 of them are going to be in Spanish, asking them what is their experience with setting up a business and managing their business in Conroe, so within the Conroe city limits. We want to know what grade would they give this city as a place to go to open a business. And a lot of folks, when I say that, sort of grimace and say, well, I'm not sure I recommend it. And we want people to recommend Conroe because we're a Chamber of Commerce and we're worried about things like this. I know some of the other folks are worried, but most politicians, for whatever reason, are not. They kind of say, well, they're going to make themselves happy or not anyway, but they don't realize we're over 60% of the tax base already.
Yes. Yeah, so a lot of the sales tax revenue is driven in the city's budget, and so the businesses affect a lot of the budget, basically. If they don't get the money from the businesses, it'll be on just the homeowners, and so we want to make sure that they are beneficial to the businesses that are bringing them money.
So we want the candidates to tell us what are their proposals, what problems will they solve, how will they make Conroe a better place. So that's what the whole candidate forum is going to be about. So in a very, very positive way, they will be placed on the hot seat and we'll ask them some questions. So that's coming up April 16th.
Yes, at the Owen Theater.
All right. So let's begin with Aurelia's piece on the Advisor's Corner. Before that, though, Aurelia, could you tell us a little bit about your background in terms of credentials, in terms of things that bring you to this point in your career and in your life, please?
Okay, I'm a CPA. I've been one for, we'll just say forever. I had one of my clients say, I've been with her for 18 years, and I'm going, it's been 18 years.
Wow.
And before that, I was in corporate accounting. So I have a large background in helping small business owners, as well as learning from $40 million budgets as well. So
Very good. So right now, what are the services you guys provide?
So we provide tax planning, but we also follow that up with the tax preparation. And we do that for businesses and individuals. And then we do bookkeeping, because if you don't have your books in order, it's kind of hard to do planning of any
so
sort.
cute. Whenever you ask them direct questions, they always forget.
It's a snow.
Yes.
Right, though. It's a snowball thing. I mean, it's like a domino thing. One falls, this one falls.
She does business advisory, everybody.
Yes, I do business
There
advisory.
you go. That's
yes.
what I was looking for. Anyway, okay. So what advice do you have for us today, Aurelia? What have you thought of that?
I have some snippets today based on this week. I had someone come in and tell me that they didn't know that they didn't have federal tax withheld from their paycheck, and he made a substantial amount of money.
So how do you not know?
Well, these days electronic pay stubs are sent out, and people didn't log in. He didn't log in
Yeah.
to see what was being withheld.
I would do the same thing.
He just thought it was being taken care of.
More money? I'm not looking.
Yeah, I'm not
Right.
looking.
He actually got a raise, so that
Even better.
obscured it a little bit, and he was
Yeah.
having retirement. He took care of his retirement, his health insurance, but not the federal government.
You're going to get a bill.
So yeah, and the main thing is that you got to at least go in there, and the first time you do something. So if you set up a payment system with somebody, or you set up your QuickBooks with, and you have something that syncs with it, you got to make sure everything is set up correctly before you can just blindly not look at it again. That way you know, because apparently it was a mistake with the payroll company that they had marked him as tax exempt, which I don't know of anybody who's actually tax exempt except the charities and the
Churches.
the
chamber.
governments, the chamber, those kind of businesses, but not anybody getting a payroll. We have very few people that would
So
be
he's
tax exempt.
self-proclaimed tax exempt.
Well, he didn't it was a mistake on the payroll
Oh,
company,
but
but
is it-
he's
yeah.
still responsible for paying it, even though they made the mistake.
Right.
So the thing, I guess the biggest lesson Aurelia is, no matter who pays you, look at the stub.
Trust but verify.
Always.
Trust but verify. Very
Yes,
good.
that way you know that you have things taken care of.
Definitely.
Because we do run into a lot of people that have not enough withheld. This is the first time I've ever had somebody have a zero
Wow.
on there. So yeah,
So in setting up all this, Aurelia, when somebody's opening their business, or even in the middle of 2 or 3 years in business, you can help them adjust whatever way that they report taxes so that they can pay less or pay whatever, or like that.
yeah. So we do tax planning. So you can set up different structures. People have heard S corps. That may not be the answer for you, but you don't know until you actually look at it, and we run the numbers. So, because some people have done it and they didn't need to, and they end up paying extra in fees to prepare, or they need it and they haven't done it yet, and so they've been overpaying in taxes.
Very good. So if you're a small business owner and your eyes glazed over already,
yes,
you need to talk to a CPA or someone versed in tax planning. And of course, Aurelia Weems, CPA, our tax advisor, she's also the business advisor of this program, can help you. So Aurelia, how can somebody get a hold of someone in your firm to maybe talk to you?
our phone number is 936-273-1188.
Said so fast.
I know, I tend to do that.
936 is all I heard.
273-1188.
Very good. So reach out to Aurelia, make an appointment, find out if you're paying too much. Maybe they'll pay you money back. Most cases, all of us that need to talk to a CPA know we have to talk to a CPA. So if that's you, give her a buzz. Thank you, Aurelia. That was a very good segment. Do you have something else? You said snippets. Do you have another snippet, or is that the snippet?
Well, the other one is making sure that your programs work together. So a lot of people, you have QuickBooks, or you have a proprietary software like a shop management system that will integrate with QuickBooks. You have to make sure those are all set up correctly. Otherwise, you could end up with incorrect items like a cash balance of $500,000 on your balance sheet.
We like that.
Yeah, but it wasn't really there.
Oh, no, maybe not. We still like it though. For a while.
But it
Spend it before they
started.
find
It
out.
started in January of 25, and now it's March of 26, and so we have a year to clean up. So if we're checking on that earlier, then making
Less
sure
work.
it's less work for somebody else to clean up.
Wow.
Because basically, you have to go in there and look at every single transaction, every single file, and ask me how I know.
Yeah. Yes.
So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, a lot of business owners they don't know that you don't know what you don't know either. So sometimes just having somebody look at your financial statement might point out something that you didn't know that you needed to have done.
Definitely.
So
100%.
And we have people that can do that are actually certified. They've gone to school for many years about learning these things. And then, like we said, if you're a business owner and you're kind of not really understanding anything we're saying, you probably need to talk to someone like Aurelia Weems. And that would be important. So thanks for those tips, Aurelia. I think they're very meaningful, they're very helpful, and they're going to help us. JR, I saw that you're very well versed. I imagine you've had experience with taxes and tax preparation and all that, but it's all under control because you've had the advice of a trained professional.
Of course, yeah. I would not be able to do it by myself, that's for sure. So
Very good. You do all the mechanical stuff.
yeah, I mean, I'll do the day-to-day operations and, the sales and day-to-day, like I said. But, the tax, I have a tax firm, and the legal stuff, I have a lawyer,
Very
so,
good.
I mean, I let, just like I'm the professional at fixing cars, I let the professionals fix what they need to.
yes, you don't
Very
want
good.
me working on your car.
Exactly. You don't want your mechanic doing your taxes,
Come on, guys. You don't know everything. I know we all think we do because we opened a business and all of a sudden we're experts.
Gets big in the head,
And Google can only help so much.
That's right.
ChatGPT, trust me, guys, it makes mistakes. Anyway,
does.
let's move on. Let's move on because we do have something really important. As you know, we are conducting a survey right now. We have a little bit under 100 surveys that we've done. So we're talking to 500 businesses in the Conroe area to determine a few things about their experience opening a business, services provided to businesses, and support for small businesses in the Conroe area. We want to know how much of a challenge it is for you to sustain your business here from a resource standpoint. Like, do you have federal resources around here? Things like the SBA or things, et cetera, just agencies like that are designed to support small business. But if they're not accessible, then they don't exist. Do you have support from your city government? Is it possible to get permits easily and to be approved by the fire marshal and things like that? Does your chamber support you? Things, most people, when I ask that question, they go, chamber? What chamber? And then, of course, I tell them about our chamber. But so we're doing that right now, Aurelia. That's our big push. I'm gonna get another batch of 200 surveys this Monday from Charity Kilgore. Charity is at 524 Creative Studio, so she's the one that's designing these surveys for us, and then we're going out and talking to people. We're not doing it online, so it's face to face basically. So it's a lot of work, but I think it matters because we want to listen to what business owners have to say. So in your mind, or your guys, you JR and you Aurelia, when I ask you, where do you think Conroe ranks from 1 to 10? How strong are we when it comes to having a good business environment? What would you say? Notice the silence,
I think
everybody.
it's going to be vary depending on the type of business they have, because some businesses need more of the city help and require a lot more of businesses than others.
Okay.
I agree with that. Yeah. So depending on, I think generally speaking, though, it's definitely up there. I think generally speaking, it's good, but like Ms. Weems said, there's depending on what industry you're in, where you're located at, what you're doing, it can definitely
Like if you're a Mexican restaurant on Fraser, it might not be too bueno, right?
not bueno.
It's tough.
From what I hear, but if depending on what you do, like where you're at, like I said, you probably ask 10 different people, you get 10 different answers.
Sure. Well, up until now, the surveys have varied. They're not sustained. They're not all saying one thing or another. They're different.
Yeah.
But what we found is that segments of our neighborhoods tend to be more vocal than others. A little bit.
Bet. Yeah.
So you know what I mean. But it doesn't make them better or worse. It just makes them who they are. Because I've seen businesses downtown, for instance, that say one thing, and then you go one block that way, and they say a completely different thing.
Yeah, like us, and
Yeah, it's going to depend on what their particular situation
experience.
was.
yeah, exactly.
That's why we're doing 500 surveys. It rivals sort of the methodology used for national surveys in terms of size of surveys, sample.
The thing with the survey too, though, I think like that accounts for like their like incoming and like their projected or whatever the person, but like, it's not going to account for like anything that they maybe didn't remember or like a shortcoming that they had,
Sure. Oh yeah. Well, that's for sure.
That's so.
Okay, so the survey will give us data, information. That information is going to be used to put together questions for the 7 people or the 7 candidates running for City Council of Conroe. So that's kind of the connection. So we're getting data from the voters to ask the people that are going to be voted into office about how they're going to remedy or address some of the challenges that they found as a city. It's not all city-based because not all, like Aurelia said and JR said, not everybody depends on the city services. But those services impact everybody one way or the other. Whether the city's good at bringing in more traffic, more business, more things like that, that one is for everybody. And so we're looking for ways to be able to put people on the hot seat, Aurelia. So Aurelia and I are conducting this candidate forum. We've done it before, guys, so don't worry. It's not going to be amateur or we know what we're doing. But we're going to put them on the hot seat and say, okay, how are you going to fix this problem? What are you going to do? Because I'm going to vote for the guy that actually is worried about business, not that just talks about business.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We've had a couple guys, and I'm not going to mention any names because they're out there, that promised us all kinds of cool stuff a few years ago. You were there, Aurelia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, I'll be for you, for business, whatever, and then they disappeared.
Where'd you go?
Well,
maybe they didn't understand what we really meant by we need support.
We just said, come on, we need support. He goes, okay, I'll support you. And then, of course, So we understand that politicians and politics can be that way because it's tough. They have to answer so many questions. But come on, guys, let's get real. You have 130,000 residents in this city. You have to think like a large city. You have to think future. You have to really think about infrastructure and all the other things that the city council is supposed to worry about. So we are a Chamber of Commerce, and we will help you worry about all those things.
And if you're interested in coming, we have an event because the seating is limited to 250 people. We don't know if we're going to be able to live stream it or not at this time, but if you want to come, make sure you can come and have a seat. You have to go on there and register, and can you find that link on the chamber website or Facebook?
Facebook.
So it's on Facebook for our chamber.
I'll ask our tech guy to help us put it on the website, but you can also put it on mytexaschamber.com. So maybe by the time this airs, it'll be on there, and you can check it out. And so we can't fit everybody, but we will fit the people that are most concerned. And if you want to even sponsor a piece of that program, please let us know as well. Sponsorships are pretty inexpensive, and that puts you in front of everyone as a business, and you can talk to people. We'll introduce you special and give you special seating, and we'll even give you the questions ahead of time too.
Yes, because we're not taking audience questions, just so you know. You're not going to be able to come there and ask questions. We will already have them prepared. Okay.
So
that helps keep it in order.
Yeah,
this is orderly because it's going to take more than an hour. And if we facilitate it this way, also the candidates won't talk for more than 2 minutes apiece per question. And that's how you do one of these forums. Otherwise, there's 7 candidates and they'll never stop talking.
We'll be there all night.
Mm-hmm. So for that, we just, they're being invited, and they are very gracious to join us. And I think it's going to be an exciting evening. So that's the biggest event we have coming up. And are there any other events that you can think of, Aurelia, that are important?
Well, of course, we always have our third Tuesday luncheon at Good Charlie's.
That's on 1488?
Yeah, on 1488, 11:30 to 1. And I think you're doing some masterminding as well.
Every Monday morning, we have a mastermind meeting in the Spring area. And we're starting one in Conroe on Tuesdays. It's kind of iffy right now because the guy that runs those meetings doesn't have transportation to get up here. But as soon as, and by the way, he's also moving to Conroe soon. And but as soon as that comes out, it's a mastermind meeting basically where we ask you to bring your mind and leave all the other problems and everything else behind for an hour or so, and talk about yourself and about how you're conducting your business and the things that are stopping you and the things that are helping you, etc. So it's a great learning experience, and that's coming up in the Texas Gulf Coast Chamber of Commerce. And so please stand by. All right, so I think we've reached the conclusion of this meeting, of this event, of this program. JR, thank you very much for being on the show.
Of course, yeah. Thanks again for having me, guys. It's been
it was great learning more about you.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, it was an honor to be here.
I learned a whole bunch about what I should have done and what I should do to make sure my truck stays on top of things and works.
Yeah.
And have somebody qualified to look at it. So,
for sure. Yeah, I didn't know you were that qualified. I knew you were, but it's a thing, a legacy thing now with you and your family and all that. And it looks like you're training the next generation and your daughter, and that's pretty good.
Yeah. We gotta keep it moving forward.
You've been listening to the Conroe Means Business radio show. I'm Dr. Carlos Sanchez here with Aurelia Weems. The radio program is designed for business owners and for people in the Chamber of Commerce and at large to just learn more about business and about things that can make them and help them continue to succeed in Conroe. If you want more information about the program, please visit mytexaschamber.com. If you want more information, visit irlonestar.com. That's where you can find everything about the show, other shows, things that are happening in Conroe, et cetera, et cetera. So we'll be back next week with Dr. Jamie Marshall. Dr. Marshall is a chiropractor / also functional medicine. They've got all things going on at the Magnolia Medical Center. That's who she represents. So it's an exciting week next week. So we hope to see you here again. And Aurelia, thank you for being on the program.
Of course.
That's Aurelia saying goodbye.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
So
we'll keep it sweet, short and sweet.
thank you again, everybody. We'll see you again next week. This is Dr. Carlos Sanchez saying goodbye.